This story is currently trending and we need to talk about it because what the hell? So on the 15th of January 2026, a 24-year-old man by the name of Patrick Perez Wede was allegedly forcefully taken from his home in Amasoma in Bayelsa State, Nigeria, along with his younger brother by the name of Destiny, who is 22 years old. They were beaten, tortured, and locked up for several days in the police station before being released. Unfortunately, Patrick Perez Wede died in the hospital days after being released. And right now, the entire nation is calling for justice because the man who did it happens to be a rival traditional religious leader in Bayelsa State. This story gets really crazy. So the man who they said took them and is responsible for the death of Patrick is named to be Apostle Bodmar's Prince Kemepade, who they say is an influential man, some kind of traditional religious leader in Bayelsa State. He has a temple with lots of followers and is also involved in politics. Bodmas was said to be very influential, not just in Bayelsa State, but also across the entire south of Nigeria. The victim, Patrick Perez Wede, was also a traditional worshipper, but not as popular as Bodmas. He said that he worships a different form of deity, but the problem is, Patrick Perez Wede was always constantly criticizing Bodmas online. I think this is where the feud begins from. It is said that Patrick online would shade, drag, and basically challenge Bodmas on social media, claiming that Bodmas is using his influence and tradition to deceive the youth rather than helping them. On the 21st of December 2025, Patrick made a post and mentioned Bodmas in it. He dared Bodmas that if he was really powerful as he claimed, he should allow him test an AK-47 rifle on him. And if he's not injured by the gun, Patrick said that he was going to give Bodmas 10 million naira. According to the post, Patrick said, "I would like to test an AK-47 on you, Bodmas Prince Kemepade. If it doesn't penetrate, I will give you 10 million naira cash." This was the post Patrick made on the 21st of December 2025. Another post that Patrick made was on the 15th of January 2026. Patrick made the post calling out Bodmas, accusing him of not promoting the Ijaw people's culture, claiming that he was deceiving the Ijaw youths with his temple. And it seemed as though this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because from the next day, it was said that Bodmas began looking for Patrick. It seemed as though Bodmas had had enough, almost as though Patrick was stalking him, belittling him, challenging him unnecessarily. And also, these kinds of challenge affect his ministry. It affects his job as a traditionalist. It makes people be like, okay, what's up? Somebody is daring you. Go now, show him. Go and let him know. Go and let him shoot you. So you let him know that your AK, your Odeshi used to work. And I guess the thing started getting to Bodmas and he's starting to feel as though he's being exposed. And these kind of things usually don't go well with people who have power and influence. And Patrick is about to find out, because after he made that post on the 15th of January, Bodmas began looking for him heavily. He did not know the exact place Patrick lived, but he knew the area. And when he got there, he began asking around until a man named Onyetari, who was some sort of priest, also in their religious field, equally a friend to Bodmas himself, told him how to find Patrick's house. Some sources said that he told his son to take Bodmas to Patrick's house. And when Bodmas and his boys, about 4 civil defense officers, got to Patrick's house around 5 a.m., Patrick eventually opened the door and was immediately attacked. He was beaten, slapped, kicked, and forced into the car that Bodmas and his civil defense officer friends came with. When his younger brother Destiny tried to intervene, he too was beaten, assaulted, and forced into the car as well. Now, you would think that this civil defense getting involved has something to do with the police. They are being taken to the police station. Because for what is what, maybe Bodmas may have some kind of reason to be angry and some kind of reason to sue for maybe, let's say, cyberbullying, because that is a thing. So Patrick and his brother are thinking they are going to prison. Unfortunately, they weren't taken to the police station, at least not at first. According to Destiny, when they were being beaten and dragged into the car, they were told they were under arrest and they were expecting to go directly to the police station. However, they were taken to Bodmas' house temple in Yenagoa. Imagine being driven in a civil defense truck thinking you're going to the station only to end up in a shrine, in some kind of temple. Bodmas drove in his own car behind the civil defense truck, which clearly indicates that he ordered these civil defense people to take them to his house. And according to Patrick's brother, immediately they got to the house, Bodmas's boys began beating them. They used planks to hit them on their heads, tied them up, used cutlasses to beat them for hours before eventually taking them to the police station to lock them up. And I think this is a part Bodmas may have messed up big time by implicating himself, because right now the war is between the police and Bodmas and his team. Bodmas is out here pointing finger at the people he hired, and the people are pointing finger at him. And this is the part of the story that makes Bodmas look really guilty, because the fact that you took them to your house first to beat them shows that you definitely had a hand in the death of this young man. Assuming it was all done by the police and all done in the police station, this would have been the police's fault. But Bodmas is very much guilty. In fact, he's the one who did it, because it took about 2 days for Patrick's family to eventually find them and his brother in the police station. On the 18th of January, Destiny and Patrick were made to sign an already written statement, forced to sign it by the police, and trying to secure their release, but the police told them that it was only Bodmas who could release them. Wow, this goes to show you what power and influence can do. The fact that a police officer will lock somebody and then tell you that the person that requested for them to be locked up is the only person that can release them just kind of shows you that the police officer who even made this statement should be locked up, arrested, and fired for the most part. Because what do you mean? Patrick and his brother Destiny were in custody until the evening of the 20th of January 2026, when Destiny said that he was called to come and make a statement. But when he returned back to the cell, Patrick was not in the cell. The police called him out to come and make a statement. When he was done, he went back to the cell and could not see his brother. He was told that Patrick had been taken to another location where he was beaten and tortured, and even returned with more bruises, broken hands and broken legs, with broken neck and a broken back with a broken waist. Basically, they just broke this boy into pieces. He could not talk, he could not move. According to Destiny, he believes that his brother being taken out of the cell at the time he was called to go and make that statement was a ploy by Bodmas, because when he was making the statement, he heard a car drive out and he believed that vehicle belonged to Bodmas, which means the police agreed to sneak Patrick out of the cell, handed him over to Bodmas again, where they went to beat him some more before bringing him back. Who does this? That same evening, Destiny and Patrick's uncle came and they were allowed to live with Patrick and Destiny. Because of how serious Patrick's injuries were, the uncle had to carry Patrick on his back to the car, and they drove straight to Amasoma General Hospital, where Patrick was treated until the next day before he could finally talk. And on the 25th of January, they were referred to another hospital because of how broken Patrick's neck was. He was referred to FMC and then later to the University of Port Harcourt's Teaching Hospital, which is in another state from Bayelsa State as a whole. It seemed as though they were still gathering money to take Patrick to UPTH, when unfortunately, on the 28th of January 2026, Patrick died. 2 days later, the news of what happened began going viral. People started talking about it, and it even got to Very Dark Man VDM, who made this story public and giving it the attention that it surely deserves. And people in the community, people in the Bayelsa community started protesting and calling for everyone involved to face the consequences. Many people began tagging and calling out Bodmas on social media. Bodmas, however, denied being responsible for what happened to Patrick. He is accusing the police, saying that they were the ones who arrested Patrick for threatening him, and also added that Patrick was also doing drugs, and it could also be the drugs that played a role in killing him. Bodmas is claiming to present himself for investigation, saying that he had no hands in the death of Patrick. And that is where he lies, my dear, because again, someone survived that ordeal, and that was Destiny, the brother, who is seeing and saying everything. After Bodmas pointed fingers at the police pointed fingers back at him, claiming that Bodmas was the one who arrested Patrick and his brother to his house before bringing them to the police station with bruises. The police are saying that Patrick and his brother came to the police station with bruises already. And I think this is where the bone of contention is. This is where people are feuding. Bodmas is saying it's police, police is saying it's Bodmas. These two people have a hand in it, the police and Bodmas. They are both responsible for the death of Patrick. They played a role. For one, you guys were the one who went to arrest him in his house. And rather than take him to your station, you took him to the person's house where he got beaten. I don't know if police are allowed to do that. Okay, now he's in your station. He's in your care. And in the middle of it, you sneak him out for another round of beating from only God knows who. To the point that he comes back with more broken bones that he came there with. Now the police want to point fingers. I feel like the people should protest as much as they can. Bodmas is going down. Because I know, for the love of God in me, he most likely doesn't even know how to use Bodmas to do mathematics. So he would have to go down. Him and his temple will go down. But he's highly connected. But I hope that is not going to change anything. Then those police officers that came to arrest Patrick and his brother on that first day, all civil defense, all four of them, should also go down and lose their jobs. Because they're not supposed to allow Bodmas take them to his house. And the police officers on duty, when Patrick was sneaked out of the prison cell to go and get beaten again, those ones on duty should be held accountable. Those are all the people that needs to go down. And they have to. Because what in the abuse of power is this? What is at some point we would have said, okay, yeah, Patrick was cyberbullying, cyber stalking, but this has gone beyond it. Nobody deserves to be beaten and killed and tortured like this for cyberbullying. Rapists don't get this kind of treatment like that. Killers are in prison eating fried rice and chicken, and somebody who challenged you on social media is getting killed, beaten with a broken neck. Nah. This is messed up. As at the time of making this video, it's important to know that the case is still ongoing, as people are coming up with different versions of what happened. However, it seems that many people believe Bodmas is guilty and they are calling for his arrest and prosecution. Some people have begun to protest both physically and on social media, and it has also gotten the attention of some activists on social media. And hopefully, the governors and presidents and people in high position get to see this, because Bodmas is going down. That AK-47 that Patrick wanted to try on you, we will try it for him on his behalf. And hopefully you have an Odeshi that would help repel that bullet, because people like this who have small power, they get intoxicated a little bit and they don't know when to stop. Now it's time to face the music that you played yourself, Bodmas.